I'm Muslim and this is my revert story. I grew up in a typical Puerto Rican Catholic household. By the age of 11, my mom had already taught me how to cook and clean. I was never baptized and never brought to Sunday church. The one thing that my mom taught us and bestowed in our heads is to make sure you always treat others the way you would like to be treated. My father was the best father, but he had a lot of demons, and although he never supported me financially, he was the closest thing to the best role model that I had. But he was a drug abuser and an alcoholic and ended up passing away in prison when I was 15. I didn't really have anyone to look up to or any positive role models around me. By the time I was 17, my mom kicked me out of the house and I have been on my own ever since. Any kind of struggle that you can think that a young woman in New York City can go through, I've gone through. And for the next 10 years after that, I was really living my life with no direction. I eventually gained a lot of weight because I was fixating my emotions with food. Growing up in Brooklyn, some of my closest friends were Muslim, and I remember going over their house during Ramadan and them having like this huge layout of food and desserts. And I thought to myself, like, wow, what a beautiful thing. And of course, at that time, I didn't know anything about Ramadan or the Islamic faith. And as I got older, I was faced with a lot of struggles in life, and I felt like I needed something to guide me. By the age of 27, I reverted to Islam through marriage. And to be honest, now that I'm going to therapy, I realized that the people that I married into, they weren't the best representation of Islam. And I specifically remember the last year that I was with them, I had missed my menstrual cycle for a few weeks and I thought I was pregnant. I remember thinking to myself and praying to God that if this wasn't meant to be, please don't let me be pregnant. And guess what happened? The very next day, I got my period. And so I left that family abruptly because I couldn't take the physical and mental abuse anymore. And to be honest, without the guidance of Islam and lots of therapy, I don't know where I'd be today. And I've been faithfully practicing the month of Ramadan ever since. As someone who struggles with food and uses food as their way of coping with stress, I find that during the month of Ramadan, I learn how to control that urge. And instead of depriving myself from the stuff that I love, I just make it all. And the people that really benefit from all of this is the people that are constantly coming over my house, which is my mom, my stepdad, and my sister, because the month of Ramadan, I just go crazy with the cooking, I feel like. And for me, to be honest, reverting to Islam wasn't a hard choice. Believe it or not, my mom growing up never really cooked pork much. So for me, it was a really easy transition. And the next question that I always get asked often is, what did my family think when I converted to Islam? I think in their heads, they just think that as long as I'm not doing any drugs, killing anyone, or doing anything that's gonna harm me, they just don't care. So yeah, that's my revert story, and I hope this encourages you guys to share your revert story. And I hope you enjoyed my random recipes. For those of you who are celebrating, I hope you have a wonderful month of Ramadan. Thank you for watching. Bye!